Hi, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero. Thank you for joining us. As William Barr takes over as Attorney General, it appears the Mueller investigation could be nearing an end. This comes as former top officials say the eventual Mueller report may be underwhelming. Here's what former U.S. Director of National Intelligence James Clapper said this morning on CNN.
I think the hope is that the Mueller investigation will clear the air on this issue once and for all. I'm really not sure it will, and the investigation, when completed, could turn out to be quite anticlimactic and not draw a conclusion about that.
CBS News Washington correspondent Paula Reid joins me now from the White House. Hi, Paula. What do we know about the possible timing of the Mueller report?
Well, the final report is expected to be submitted to the Attorney General by mid-March. The expectation is that the report will be delivered before Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who has overseen this investigation over the past 20 months before he leaves office. He's expected to leave in mid-March. But, Tanya, there's also plenty of signs that the investigation is wrapping up. We had Acting Attorney General Matthew Whitaker tell us that he expected it to end soon. But we also see that for the first time, the special counsel started to file cases jointly with U.S. attorneys' offices. That is significant because once the special counsel no longer exists, they can pass those cases off to the U.S. attorney to see to their completion. We've also noticed that the grand jury that Mueller uses has not been assembled over the past several weeks. So you sort of take all of this together, and we are expecting this report in the next few weeks. But you never know. In the course of an investigation, if they uncover something new that'll take more time, it could be delayed.
Right. And so that's a timing wise, but how much information might we actually see in Mueller's report?
Well, we are not entitled to see any of it. The regulation does not require that any of it be made public. That will be up to the new Attorney General, William Barr. He has said in his confirmation hearing that he intends to be as transparent as possible. We do expect to get a summary, but a summary of a lot of the information that has already supported charges, that's not going to be much more than we already know. So there is still a big question about how much will be made public, how much will be given to Congress, how much shared with reporters and the general public. The president was asked actually just a short time ago, Tanya, in the Oval Office, how much he thinks that should be shared, and he said that'll be up to his attorney general.
All right. Now, I want to play a bite from former acting FBI Director Andrew McCabe on CNN last night. He was asked if he believes the president was a, quote, Russian asset. Here's what he said.
I think it's possible. I think that's why we started our investigation, and I'm really anxious to see where Director Mueller concludes that.
So based on what we know about the special counsel's investigation, might they seriously be considering whether the president is a Russian asset?
Well, I've never heard anyone connected to this investigation use that term connected to the president. We know the special counsel is investigating whether or not there was any cooperation, or the legal term would be conspiracy. Some people say collusion, but the legal term is conspiracy. Whether or not the Trump campaign and Russia or Russians conspired to help the president win the election. That's what they're investigating, in addition to questions about whether or not the president or anyone else has tried to obstruct this investigation into possible conspiracy to help the president get elected. We know that over a dozen of the president's close associates, cabinet members, family members, campaign officials, they have all lied about their contacts with Russia. It raises a lot of questions about why, especially when some of the contacts were just routine or something that someone would be expected to do, like Attorney General Jeff Sessions meeting with the Russian ambassador. So there are still a lot of outstanding questions about contacts between the Trump campaign and Russia, but I have never, ever heard anyone use the term Russian asset as it pertains to the president.
But as you point out, there has been an extraordinary amount of lying going on, so that's also very interesting. Now, the president denied the Times report that you specifically asked him about wanting to install his ally to oversee the Southern District of New York's investigation. Why is that probe, Paula, considered by some to be more problematic for the president than Mueller's investigation?
Well, right now, it's unclear whether or not the special counsel investigation will uncover any evidence of criminal wrongdoing on the part of the president. Right now, if I'd have to bet, I would say no on the side of conspiracy in terms of obstruction of justice. It remains to be seen just how much he has uncovered. But this other investigation in New York, this will exist long after the special counsel has concluded its investigation, and they're looking at different questions. Specifically, they're looking at just how much the president knew about hush money payments to women who alleged they had affairs with him. But now we have three witnesses. We have AMI, the publisher of the National Enquirer, its chairman and CEO, David Pecker, and the president's former personal attorney, Michael Cohen. Tanya, they all admit that they worked together to suppress stories that would be unfavorable to the president in violation of campaign finance laws. The question is, did the president know that was happening? Was he too working to violate campaign finance laws? It's more of a clear-cut kind of crime, and you have three witnesses testifying publicly or admitting publicly that this was the case, and that's going to cause a lot more legal headaches for the president, even after the special counsel comes out, and even if his report is, quote, anticlimactic.
All right, Paula Reid in snowy Washington, D.C., thank you so much.